Climate change and the South Australian energy crisis. Since the early 19th century, humans have been aware that the global climate is changing. Since then, as technologies have improved and more resources have been invested into research, we now understand that this rate of change is exceeding natural predictions. We now also understand why this is happening. The reason is anthropogenic. The activities and emissions of our societies is now the major contributor of global temperature increase. The consequences for climate change are predicted to be catastrophic, so if we're going to do something about it, we need to understand the causes behind it. The biggest contributor to climate change through the increase of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is through the burning of fossil fuels for power, including things like coal, gas, and oil. Another major contributor to this is the way we use gas and oil to power our vehicles, producing exhaust emissions. There is also the issue of deforestation, which we do primarily for resources such as wood, and also to create space for grazing livestock and for growing crop. Not only does this deforestation remove the Earth's natural ability to absorb CO2, but the livestock themselves also produce tremendous amounts of methane, which is a more concentrated greenhouse gas than CO2. Climate change threatens everyone through more extreme weather events, less regular rainfall, a shifting global precipitation belt, rising sea levels, and all the consequences that come with these. In an effort to counter these effects and reduce our contribution to global climate change, there is a global push to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and to better manage our land use and agricultural practices. This has led to agreements such as the 2015 Paris Climate Summit. South Australia is currently experiencing an energy crisis, where its peak demand is close to exceeding its supply. This is driving up prices and producing political pressure to find a solution in a culture that is now seeking to turn away from fossil fuels. The South Australian Premier revealed the state's plan to overcome this problem. The state intends to build a $360 million gas-fired power station to supply extra power to the state. A part of this plan is to also build the nation's largest battery storage facility for renewable energy storage. The decision to continue investment in fossil fuel source power is not entirely obvious from the information available. However, it does appear that the primary motivation for this is to create an independent state that no longer relies on power from Victoria. Now, whether this could be achieved through clean renewable energy is not immediately obvious. However, studies have shown that renewable wind energy is now cheaper to produce, run, and sell than gas. The state's decision to invest in power storage for renewable energy is promising. However, it seems uncanny not to pair this decision with actual renewable energy production. The true motivations behind decisions of this nature may be unknowable. This is due to the many factors at play that are not made public, such as political and personal agendas, corporate lobbying and persuasion, and personal opinions and prejudice. We must also remember that a government's job is to enact the will of the people, and it's no secret that many people will still debate the issue of climate change, even in the face of overwhelming scientific consensus. Many people in South Australia do not want to even consider wind energy as an option for power production because of recent blackouts, which they blame the wind farms for. Backing renewables can also be seen as a political stance, and many would rather follow their party's agenda rather than making their own independent decisions.